You're listening to Faith, Stewardship, and Insurance, Protecting Texas Churches. The show that gives pastors and church leaders the clarity they need to protect their people, property, and ministry.
Welcome back to Faith, Stewardship, and Insurance, Protecting Texas Churches. I'm your host, Ron Wadley with Insurance for Texans. We help church leaders protect their people and property with wisdom and clarity. Today, we're wrapping up week 3 of our series from our book, The Promise of Certainty. We are talking about how to protect your church from cyber and media threats. Cyber liability protects your church when the threat is a mouse click away. Churches in Texas have embraced online giving, email newsletters, and cloud-based member databases. That convenience makes ministry easier, but it also opens the door to cybercrime. Hackers do not care if you are a business or a nonprofit. If you collect personal information or process payments, you are on the target list. Data breach claims are less common than weather damage, but when they happen, the costs climb fast. Regulatory reporting, forensic IT services, legal defense, and credit monitoring can easily reach 6 figures. Most cyber coverage on standard policies offers small amounts of financial protection, which often falls well short of those costs. We highly recommend getting a standalone policy with less exclusions and larger limits of coverage. In addition to great coverage, there are several ways to protect your church from cyber criminals. First is to use multi-factor authentication on all administrative accounts. Second is training staff and volunteers to spot phishing emails. Third is backing up systems regularly and storing backups offline. Next, have a procedure to verify any account information changes that are requested. Also, review whether your cyber policy covers ransomware, wire transfer fraud, and third-party vendor breaches. And lastly, check to see if your coverage includes crisis communication support to help restore trust. Cyber liability coverage is not just a tech problem. It is a trust safeguard. A similar sentiment is also true for media liability. In Texas, more churches are streaming services, posting sermon clips, and running social media campaigns than ever before. That public reach is powerful for ministry, but it also creates legal exposure. A sermon illustration, a blog post, or a Facebook caption can lead to claims of misrepresentation, defamation, or invasion of privacy. Even a false or petty complaint requires a legal response, and those defense costs can drain a ministry budget really fast. Media liability coverage steps in to handle those costs and any damages if you lose. You can also protect your message and your team by confirming your media coverage includes live streams, archived recordings, and social media posts. Training staff on copyright and intellectual property basics. Avoiding personal identifiers in stories unless you have written consent, and reviewing whether your coverage extends to guest speakers and volunteers. Your words matter. Media liability helps make sure a message meant to bless does not become a legal burden. In our digital age, churches are just as vulnerable as anyone else to cyber hacks and claims of harm arising from your church's use of media. If you haven't considered these risks, let's have a conversation. Connect with our church insurance team at insurancefortexans.com. You can also download a free copy of our book for yourself. Get your copy of The Promise of Certainty at thepromiseofcertainty.com. I'm Ron Wadley, and this has been Faith, Stewardship, and Insurance, Protecting Texas Churches. Join us next week as we conclude this series from our book and find out how your church can find the promise of certainty. Until then, remember, your church's mission is too important to leave to chance.
Thanks for listening to Faith, Stewardship, and Insurance. Until next time, remember, insurance isn't just about policies. It's about safeguarding the mission God has called you to lead.